Hello everyone, my name is Reina Mendoza, and for this project I interviewed my friend of 5 years, Julina Mercado, who originally took an intro to theater class as a sort of requirement for her fine arts for graduating high school, and she eventually just grew to love the course and ended up taking it for the entire 4 years of high school, and even started in a couple of plays in the Creative Arts Building in Pittsburgh High. Uh, it became really weird for her at first to know that she grew to love theater and became really passionate about it, just because she is an Asian American, and normally most families don't really support that or just find it as something that isn't going to be useful to them in the future, or possibly something that's even a waste of time. So she didn't really have that big of a support system as she was trying to sort of work out her own feelings to how she felt towards her love of theater as well. Eventually her family did come to support it and know that, and come to understand and realize that she was really passionate about theater, and ultimately they just wanted their daughter to be happy, even if she wasn't pursuing the career that they wanted her to in the first place. She now currently studies at UC Irvine and is majoring in theater there, and she is actually quite happy with where she is, and she hopes to become an actor. She especially likes musical theater, to be specific. There wasn't really any bad encounters that she had in theater, but there was a couple examples of sort of misogyny throughout theater, where it sort of became this feeling where she felt like she had to prove herself even more to the men that she was auditioning, than the men who were auditioning for certain roles than she was. And it sort of became like a sort of feeling where she knew that she kind of had to prove herself more compared to the others, and it became really hard on her at times, which is understandable because there is this sort of stigma around women in theater, and it becomes sort of like they have to prove themselves further in order to sort of show themselves off to be a good actor and such. And ultimately her struggles with her culture and who she was became a really big problem as well, as she wasn't really taking the career that everyone thought she was going to take, and it became really hard on her as well. Ultimately, what this kind of shows me is that different cultures sort of have a different priorities of what they see as important and what people should be passionate about. But ultimately she didn't really let that get in her way, which I really admire and I really relate to, especially now since I'm majoring in psychology, which is a course that my culture doesn't really see as useful, or sees as a waste of time. So it becomes sort of inspiring to see how she manages to prevail through all of that, and even finds happiness and passion, and sort of is able to become more like herself throughout theater, and is able to express herself almost as if she's taking on a different persona and sort of just letting herself run free when she's acting. And it's really nice to see. And ultimately this kind of shows me that it's good to never really give up on what it is that you're passionate about, because ultimately what other people want, and what more specifically cultures may want from you, it won't exactly be what is best for you.